off. And this would be your chance to be on video. You didn't know that we're making a corporate safety video.
Oh, you didn't tell everyone that? Yeah, I didn't know that either.
No, absolutely not.
Last minute after I said, sure, I'll do it.
Absolutely not.
We're ready to go. And are you going to be off camera, right? You're going to say I'm Joe?
Oh, no, I
He is going to be shooting that way, but I think it's more.
We could do multiple takes here, John. Okay? No pressure.
I was counting on one take, Jim.
I do not need to be on the tape.
Hey, sure like you're interested. Don't be slouching down in here and give me a bad name.
We're sorry.
Yeah, they know you're.
Be the guy that would open that door.
That's right. That's right.
I'm just dying to open that door. You see that slide come up.
All righty.
Do me a favor and call me so I can go down it a couple times.
And we're ready to go.
It's up to you. I'm just rolling tape and I'm capturing whatever you.
Okay, all right. This portion of the training module that we're going to be addressing, I will talk about preventing slide deployment on aircraft. You have great exposure to the aircraft that you're going to be cleaning, with the possibility of accidentally opening a door from the inside of the aircraft. Now, the situations here is just a little layout of the different type of airplanes that you will have exposure to. Okay, each airline has their own different set of fleet, but for the most part, they really compromise never mind, let's back up here.
Is he supposed to be staring at the camera?
No, I don't want to stare at the camera. All righty. This module will address the prevention and deployment of backup. All right.
Just forget about us. Just run the class.
Just run it going. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. We'll do it.
Always know that we can cut you out.
That's okay. Okay, I like that. Okay. This module will address preventing the deployment of the employment. This module will address preventing the deployment of the emergency evacuation slide on the aircraft. That's why we have a policy in place called Monitor and Challenge, to make sure that our employees do not open the doors from the inside of the aircraft. Just to give you a little synopsis as to what you will be facing as the new employees. Here's just a different type of aircraft that you will have exposure to when you're working. It starts from the 747 down to 767s, down to DC-9s. When you are on that aircraft, you will be, for the most part, cleaning inside the aircraft, from the flight deck to the galleys, to the main cabin, to the lavatories. To give you just a little synopsis as to how the evacuation slide works, when that aircraft is boarded with passengers, and when they push the aircraft away from the terminal, the flight attendants are required to arm the doors. Okay, they will put the doors in the arm position, meaning in the event there's an emergency, the flight attendant will open the door and a slide will deploy where the passengers can slide down and evacuate the aircraft. Now, once the aircraft comes back to the gate, it is the flight attendant's responsibility to disarm the door. And on the doors, there are levers. It says armed or disarmed. Now, for the most part, they do disarm the doors. But, however, there's always some variables that occur where a mechanic might be working on the door, the flight attendant might forget to disarm the door. So therefore, we have a process in place to ensure that we do not accidentally open that door. Because yes?
Now, all the aircraft doors have the armed and disarmed?
Yes, all the aircraft that you have exposure to have the arming and disarming mechanism. All the doors have evacuation slides on them. Okay? Right. The doors, you can see the 747 has 5 doors. It's referred to the left and right side of the aircraft. There's also evacuation slides over the emergency exit windows, over the wings. Okay, so just always focus on not opening the doors. That's how we have little posters. Do not open the aircraft doors unless you have been trained. So going back to the aspect of when the aircraft comes in, okay, please remember, do not open that door because it could be armed. If the door is armed, and the door is open, that slide will deploy in a matter of seconds. So once it's deployed, it could cause very serious injury and possibly even death to the passenger, with the employees that are working around the aircraft. Because envision, the aircraft now comes in, okay? Once it comes in, everybody gets around the aircraft. So when that slide deploys, it falls to the ground, inflated. You talk about a tremendous amount of weight when it goes on there. So if there's anyone below, it will fall on them. So that's why it's a very, very serious situation to making sure that we never open the door from the inside unless we're trained to make sure that the door is disarmed. Now, with that being said,
I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wondered if he was here.
that's why we have. So just envision, that's how it works. Have you ever seen vehicles with an airbag deploying? It's kind of the same principle. It's very, very rapid. And anyone on the other side, like I said, is subject to injuries and possible death. Now, when that slide is deployed, in order for that slide to be, and the aircraft is going to be taken out of service, before that aircraft can go into service, a slide must be placed back on that aircraft in that door to which that slide was deployed from. So you're talking about a cost of approximately $25,000 to $50,000. Because now that aircraft is taken out of service, maintenance has to be conducted on it. Just to fix that slide, they have to inflate it, make sure there are no tears, no leaks in it. They have to repackage the slide. They have to put it back on the aircraft. The passengers have to be rebooked. The crews have to be probably deadheading different locations. If that aircraft is out of service, for every hour it's out of service, it generates tremendous amount of loss to the carrier. So both parties get impacted. We get impacted in the cost factor, and also so does the carrier. So going to where we're going to prevent possible aircraft deployment of the emergency slide, we have implemented a process called Monitor and Challenge. Any individual that is going to be qualified to be a challenger or operator of the door will receive either a black badge for their lanyard, or they will have a red badge. Now, any individual going through or receiving these badges will go through training by an authorized trainer for a prospect that is familiar with the carrier and the operation of the doors. The video will be seen, that carrier's video will be seen of every type of aircraft, and there will be actual hands-on of each type of aircraft to ensure that the monitor and the operator, the challenger I should say, and the operator know how to open that door and recognize the fact that it is in the armed or disarmed position. No one else is to open any doors from the inside unless they have a red badge and a black badge. It takes two. We work as a team here. It doesn't matter if you're cleaning the airplane, you could be working as 2, you could be working as 8, you could be working as 12. Our motto here is, it takes two. It takes two individuals that are trained to open that aircraft door from the inside. Okay. Any questions so far? Yes?
Now, if it takes two to open the door, but the slide still opens, even though it's disarmed, what happens then with the two that open the door?
Well, if the slide will not deploy if it's in disarmed position.
Well, what if it does? I don't know.
Well, if the slide deploys, then obviously there's a mechanical problem with it. Because obviously you'll see if the slide is in the armed or disarmed, the lever is armed or disarmed.
Okay.
So that's why we have to make sure. That's why there are two individuals in this process. Okay? So, the individual is going through as the challenger and as the operator. The operator, both individuals will go to that door and it has to be open. The operator will say, door is disarmed. The challenger will say, yes, I confirm the door is disarmed. You may open the door. Then the operator will open the door. Remember, it takes two. Okay? Takes two. An individual will have, like I said, either both combination of red and black, or individuals will both have red. That means this person can open the door. This individual knows when it is in the disarmed position, but is not authorized to open that door. Okay? Any questions so far? Okay. So, we will go through this exercise. At the end of the session, you will see a video explaining to you about the different doors and so forth, but that's just an informational piece for you to understand. Okay? It does not authorize you to open the doors. I think that kind of covers everything that I can think of.
Troublemaker.
Back to his point where you're opening, where you have two people there and it says it's disarmed and you
Open up.
And the doors anyway.
Are we fired?
Yeah, you would be, because I would imagine that you would swing that handle that said disarmed. Don't try to.
I don't think at that point you
That's
can,
what I'm asking.
they
Can
can't,
it be moved?
No,
Can it
No.
be
well,
moved to
because
cancel a
we've
phone?
had so many slides deployed with one person open the door, so now it makes it safer for us, saying, well, we had two people
Well,
on that door.
Oh, I know, but you.
yeah, but I think what
can
Joanne's,
consider-
what Joanne is asking, after the fact, can it be moved?
No,
Okay,
they cannot.
because when we had the last deployment we had, unfortunately,
Won't move.
what had happened is the door was open, it was disarmed from the outside. The crew was on that aircraft for about 2.5 hours. The last piece of cleaning for this particular employee, he had to clean door number 4 left, which is in the back galley. Now, all along the door was open, it was disarmed. He had closed it. He had closed it because he had to finish cleaning that one section. So, knowing that it was open, it was disarmed. In the process of cleaning that door, he must have inadvertently moved the lever over from disarmed to the armed position. And maybe he knew he moved it over, but he neglected to put it back, forgotten to put it back in the disarmed position. So now the door was armed. So now he wanted to open the door for a couple of employees. They need to get into the lift truck to get supplies. So he opened the door and the slide deployed. Fortunately, it didn't totally inflate because the slide fell even on the lift truck itself. Okay.
So the problem that
So-
lies right there, because he wasn't authorized to touch that door, period.
So,
He should have called somebody to come move that door.
through the investigation we went through, and the question was raised: it was in fact malfunctioning because was it a disarmed position? Because when we looked at it, it was armed, and so I thought, well, maybe it came back. In the meeting we had with maintenance says no, it's not going to fall back. It's already